All right. Let's see if this is working. I forgot this whole background was set up for my SBA prepping live stream. Is this one working? Hello, Off-Grid Suburban Project. Hello, Rick. Kimberly. Anybody? Am I working? Yes, indeed. Okay. At 8 o'clock, I clicked it, and it was trying to do SBA prepping and survival. I forgot I got to change it all around each night or each channel. Hello, Bill. What's going on? Caveman, welcome. Welcome to a tired Saturday night. And it just started raining here. For those that are wondering, we got the walls set up. I'll be putting a video up tomorrow. We got the walls framed on the addition and went and got all the material I needed. The guy gave me kind of a runaround. We got it late. Hey, Mountain Man, what's going on? Ridge Runner. The troubles of a YouTube star. I would never know what the troubles of a YouTube star are. I feel like I'm still learning this stuff. But I know what I'm going to do. I have my wife's laptop at home. So Wednesday night when I do the live stream for SBA prepping, I'm going to try her laptop, try to set it up. Then that would be strictly for that live streaming there. I can leave this one set up for out here for St. Bernard Acres. But we live and learn. At least I recovered fast. I didn't have to cancel the live stream. And I have to say this. I hate to say this. What was that little glitch? Am I still on here? I'm going to have to try something here. We recommend you use, I have to change the bit rate. I can't. I just have to live with what I got. I can't risk screwing it up. All right. 1 second. I was just watching a video. A guy was working, running a sale at the end. He started screaming, "Get me to the hospital." Eventually cut his finger off. Be careful. Wow. Holy crap. I didn't do that. But Tomcat, you in the USA? Yes, I am. Hey, Dan, Turkey Joe, what's up with that? Did you get the trusses and figure it out? We're having thunderstorms northwest Pennsylvania mountain. Yeah, it just started raining here. Yes, I got all the trusses. I got all the metal. I got the ridge cap, the drip edge, everything. It was supposed to be ready at noon. So Gary and I met for breakfast. I did a video today of framing the walls and everything. I'll put that up tomorrow. But we were at breakfast this morning, Gary and I was going to call the guy at 10 o'clock to see if we were still on for noon. Well, he called me and said that the corner trim or something didn't come in. It wouldn't be there for Thursday, and I probably wouldn't want to make 2 trips and blah, 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 blah. And I said, what are you talking about, corner trim? Oh, the stuff that goes at the end. I said, you talking about the rake board? He said, yeah. I said, I didn't order rake trim. Rake trim. I didn't order the rake trim. I'm using the rake trim that's on here and moving it. Oh, well, okay, let me see if I can let me call you back. I was like, oh, well, that's how, I know how that rolls. So we finished breakfast. We came out here. We started working on walls. And about 12:30, I called him and just got voicemail. So I called him back, and I love voicemail. I said, look, evidently I can't pick these up by noon. Should I send these guys home that I paid to come out here and put this together for me? I mean, I kind of lied a little bit. And he called me back. He said, oh, I got it ready now if you still want to come and get it today. That was about 12:30, 12:45. And I said, yes, we will come and get it. I want it. And it was like an hour and a half to go to that shop to get it. We had no idea it would take that long because it's only 40 miles. But it was all back roads and hills and gravel roads for miles and miles getting there. And then we tried a different way coming back to get over to 77. We didn't get back here until 4 o'clock. Okay, that's my story. But all the trusses, you'll see all that tomorrow with the video. Uh, land these days, it varies. Tomcat, wherever you have. Here, I paid $3,000 an acre 15 years ago. Now it's 10 an acre. Just depends on where you are. Hey, Teresa, what's going on? Dan, did everybody get their snap? I haven't got mine. Of course, I've never had it. Once I, yes, it was kind of scary. I don't know if it come all the way up, but was freaking out, headed to the hospital. That's a trip. Hello, Russell. What's going on, my friend? Joe messed something up. He has the spinning wheel of death. Oh, no. It's, no. It shows excellent connection. I didn't change anything. It suggested I change something, but I don't think I can change it without shutting this stream down and back up another one. Wow, 17,000 an acre in Virginia, huh? How much for the lights and water hookup? That's another thing. It completely varies. Here, for the electricity, I did all the work. There was no electricity here. I learned how to do electrical work. Russell sent me code books, you know, I'd studied, I figured out how to do it. I did all of it myself. Same with the septic. I learned how to do it. I got certified to do it. I did all that myself. Water, I don't have yet. It's $12,000 for a well. I'm working a different route. Why is the other building 6 inches lower than your original house? Because I'll show this in the video tomorrow. Because now I can have a better idea of how I have to make the transition for the roof lines to connect these 2 sheds. And with the second building being what it's going to be, that building is only going to house 2 bedrooms. There's going to be 2 bedrooms in it only. So when you walk down the hallway, the bedrooms, you will step down to get into the bedrooms. But I have to have my roof kind of overlap that roof a little bit. So it had to be a little bit lower. That was the reason for putting that behind there. Otherwise, you're tearing off roof, you're building dormer type roofs and valleys and all this kind of stuff. It'll make sense tomorrow, Arkansas Prepper. It'll all fall into place tomorrow. I've got enough of it up now. I just didn't have time to edit the video and everything. I got enough of it up now that I can explain how it's going to happen, and it'll make all the sense to everybody. I started thinking about having 3 off-grid spots in 3 different parts. Ridge Run. If I could, I wouldn't. One is enough. I mean, I have a couple of places I could go to if I'm trying to get out to here, but I think because I have this, I don't have to worry about other places. Bill, what did you do with the wall panels you built last year? Are you planning on using them for another project down the road? I still plan on using those for another project down the road. Things started happening here, and I hate to say it, but with the state of the country right now, the way the shape of this country, getting this finished has become a priority. We got to get ready for this. So the other fun project I was going to do that I built those panels for is still going to be used, but after I get established here. Ridge Runner, I don't need 10 or 20 acres. Tom, I'll just live in a park. I like that idea. You know, speaking of not needing 10 or 20 acres, Ridge Runner, I have learned the same thing. I thought I wanted more acreage. Uh, but I'm not building a compound. I'm not setting up a prepper group. I'm not inviting people out here. So this property, when I bought it because of this barn primarily. It has 10 acres, right? I'm using an acre and a half of it. I can never envision a need to use the other 8 acres. It's just all still wild. Uh, the only thing that extra 8 acres does is just keep people from moving close to me. So yeah, I think I could do, because everything I'm doing is on 2 acres, basically. Yeah, half acre will work. Uh, Bill B. Ed pooped his pants and had to wash them. You know what? I don't want to comment on that. I watched that video because I am totally amazed that we have 5 days of 2 people trying to build a doghouse. Right? So I clicked on that video to see how much progress had been made on that dumbass doghouse. And he told that story, and I just had to kill that video. So I don't know any of the details about it. I can understand people doing that, especially when you get older. Why you would broadcast that on your YouTube channel, I have no idea. But I just had to kill it. That's all there was to it. Dan Gores. We're the same, Joe. Keep it tight and close. Yep. Oh, absolutely. It's great for that. mountain man use it for deer hunting. Yeah, it is very good for that. Now, I got deer out here all the time. So there is that benefit to having the extra 8 acres, just being wild and turned into a wildlife refuge. That's very, I mean, you're absolutely right. I run a half acre on the back of your lot. I'm not renting out any. Uh, a guy in the Ozarks wants to sell 10 lake lots, unrestricted, 60 by 180. It's all I need. Yeah, that's all you need. I mean, that would be perfect, especially on a lake. Malachi's going, oh, Bill, you want us women in the group to start laughing about that? I know. I couldn't believe it. Oh, the volume's bad. I don't know what I can do about that. It all shows, it looks good. Bring those deer in and warm them up. I try, man. You know, every week when it gets cold, every week when I come out here, I stop and buy a big bag of deer corn. And I keep we got this big plastic feeder, and I keep that thing full for them. They come here and eat every day during the winter. When I get ready to harvest one of them, I fed them, I can harvest them. That's the way I look at it. But we've seen one of the scary problems here is we've caught on the security cam 3 or 4 times now bobcats walking up and down the road. Because, you know, I used to see rabbits everywhere. And Gail mentioned it. We haven't seen rabbits really. There's bobcats everywhere out here. Good evening, Joe. Hey, good evening, Joey No Knees. Welcome, my friend. That doghouse is his clothesline. I'd never tell anyone I pooped my pants. Neither would I. When he started that story, I was already reaching to kill that video. But I was curious to see how the doghouse was going. I mean, I can't believe it's taken 5 days to build a, what, 3 by 5 doghouse with 2 people? Joe, are you going to rough in your plumbing soon? Absolutely. I've got all the roofing materials now. Next weekend, the roof will be on the addition. Then the next step is the plumbing. I've got to get that ready. Once I get the plumbing, once I have a bathroom, I have now enough to store 2,000 gallons of water. And I have a bathroom, and Bobby and I hook up and we run electric in the house. I'm moving in full time. I'll be moving out here full time then. So yeah, the plumbing is becoming a priority. Uh, Red Road, you're going to rep dogs clean them. Did you guys see my shed updates? I love it. I love it. I just wish it was like being somewhere on your property. I can't wait to watch you. I didn't have time to watch the chicken coop one today. Um, the step down. Again, tomorrow's video I think will clear it all up. But these sheds trying to connect roof lines, one going vertical, one going horizontal, can be very, very expensive to do all the roof work. So my idea was to drop that building 6 inches, because that roof line would then go underneath my other roof line, and I just have to put flashing up there to run the water off. The 2 bedrooms that are going to be in the other building, it will have a sunken bedroom. You know, houses back in the 70s, it's a big thing to have a sunken living room where you step down into the living room. This, you'll just step down into the bedrooms. That's all. It makes it very inexpensive and easy to seal all the buildings together. The Big Easy. Hi, I live in Joplin, Missouri, and bought a lot from a guy that's an hour from me working on get. That is awesome, man. I'm so glad to hear that, buddy. Yes, keep us posted. And let me know if you have a YouTube channel or want to start a YouTube channel. Red roofs are good. Plumbing has to be, it is an absolute priority. I want to be living here uh, by the end of December. I want to be living here full time by the end of December. I will have heat in the house. I will have electric in the house. I will have water in the house. And I will have a working septic in the house. So I have a toilet. And I will be living here and getting a part-time job out here. That way, every day I'm working on that house out here. And Gail is moving out here full-time this spring. I don't care how much is done. As long as we have electric, water, sanitation, we're moving here. And then we can work on it together and just keep it going. And I'm going to sell that house in Wheeling for whatever somebody offers me for it and say bye. And we're out here. Been waiting long enough. Is Joe going to come back? I hope I'm not having a problem, Kim. It has no floor. I know it doesn't. You got to put a floor in it. Shit happens. That's a good one, man. Without a heat source inside that doghouse, it will not be warm. How does he plan? I don't think they're going to winter in it. You know, he's got, I hate to get off on this again, but think about the fact he's got the wolf's lair. He can put heat in that, and that's where the dogs will be during the winter. When they're out in the run, they will have a dog house to go into. But I don't think they're going to be living in that dog house. The wolf's lair became a dog house. Ridge Runner, I started, let's see, I got to catch up now. I started taking MCT oil, and if I drink too much, it could happen to me. I've had the little almost happened. I mean, it happens to everybody. You don't broadcast it to the world. You don't broadcast it to your people on YouTube. That's the only thing that got me. Everybody has it. I mean, everybody has issues. You know, you just don't make a video about it. QQQ, Joe, do you need anything? I'm fixing to clean out. We're almost done. I need everything. But send me a message on Messenger, Joe Waller on Facebook. You can message me and I'll see what I can use and see what I can buy from you. Bill, it's been suggested he locked birds in at night. However, the coop is too small. Yep, it is. He has an issue listening to suggestions. So I'm doing my own thing. Exactly. He has never, ever listened to suggestions. I live for suggestions from people to help me out. Well, Hung, I'll have to move in with you guys. No, Bill Clinton got off on Trump's house. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Joe, I'm not selling you. Well, that would be so nice of you, Dan. Absolutely. You know, I mean, I need everything. Have you picked out your appliances? No. Um, that's the kind of stuff that, uh, you know, it depends when it gets to that point, it's what we can afford at that time. I've got my stove and refrigerator and washer and dryer, all of that stuff in the house and wheeling I can bring out here. So I don't have to have new for that stuff. The stove, I need a propane stove. I don't want to run electric. Electric is very expensive out here. So if I can find a reasonable propane stove and oven, I'll buy that. Otherwise, I'll just use what I have until I can get it. The Ridge Runner. I lived on Lake Granbury. My neighbor worked at a steel mill for 40 plus years, put in a boathouse, new boatyard. One day he was adding a new base mailbox and said it was his last chore. Everyone blocks this guy, you know who. I blocked him. Uh, Ridge Runner. Oh man, that sucks. I hope that doesn't happen to me. But you know what? I've mentioned this, I think, in Wednesday night's live stream, just joking around primarily. Uh, I've come to the idea that if I reach 80 years old, right, I figure once I hit 80, I'm going to go back to eating my fast food, drinking my Dr. Pepper instead of zero sugar shit, smoking cigarettes again because I loved smoking cigarettes. Right? Once I hit 80, I don't care then. I'm looking at life that way. But yeah, that happens every day. I mean, people, that's one of the reasons why I took my retirement at 62. Now, I've had 6 years of my retirement basically uh, that I wouldn't have gotten if I had waited till, oh, wait till you're at retirement age. I took it early. Thank you, Arkansas Prepper. But yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. I'm healthy. I'm sore as crap right now because of just, I spent, for my part time jobs, I think working security at the hospital, where I sat at that front desk for 6 hours a night, right? And then driving a cab where I sat in the cab car for 8 hours a day. I think that is why I'm sore now trying to do all of this work. I got to get my body back to working. I had a cool spot in the 80s and loved it. It's very crowded now. I made that decision at 60. Yeah. Yes, we moved to the mountain from Fort Worth. You know what? I lived in Texas for a long time and I used to love Texas. And I don't think I was ever in Fort Worth except passing through. I was Dallas all the time. Uh, let's see. Caveman. I know more people that worked until 65 and never made till 66. Yeah, I don't want to be one of those people. Now I'm 68 now, 68 and a half. And all of my medical tests, everything is coming back okay, you know. The only medicine I take now is for my blood pressure. That's it. And I'm starting to lose weight again. And I know you can't see, but in the last 3 weeks, I've lost 13 pounds in the last 3 weeks. I'm not trying any kind of diet. I'm not doing anything. I'm just cutting back on stuff and getting more exercise. So when I drop this weight back down to where it was, I'll be off the blood pressure meds. The Big Easy. I remember when you took your uh, SS. I did too because you made sense. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad it made sense to you, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you don't regret it because I gave you some ideas. Something it would have made a difference of $400 a month if I had waited. $400 a month would not change my lifestyle at all. I worked part-time jobs that gave me extra money. I'm not working it right now. I'm taking a break. I've got all my books to sell on eBay, and I've got a bunch of stuff to sell. So I'm just going to piddle around. I can make more videos and better videos, maybe, and maybe make some more money on YouTube, be compensated for it. But if I have to, I'll go get a part-time job again. There's hundreds of them. Fifth generation Fort Worthian. That's pretty awesome, dude. Wow. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right. I know it's 64 here. Uh, I can't believe it's 64 out there. Now it's going to be 49, I think, tomorrow. Beach bum. No more Uber driver. Yeah, I never drove Uber. I just strictly a cab. Primarily doing hospital, taking people to doctor's appointments, doing for medical insurance type stuff. Good deal, Biggies. I'm really glad to hear that. Good to see you in here, Beach Bum. Heck yeah. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, I just looked up. I didn't even realize well, 65 out there. Jeez. It's 70 in the cabin. I have no heat on at all. Joe Nooney's great to hear about the weight loss. Keep up the good work. Thank you, buddy. I'm going to try. Uh, the Upgrid Suburban Project. Yep, got SNAP. I don't qualify for SNAP. They say I make too much money. Well, I'll be 62 in January, so I'll have to make that decision soon. Yeah, you will. Shot a thumbs up. Well, thank you. I could use the thumbs up. There's no doubts about that. Mountain Man, I'll be 70 in April. Walk the dog 1 mile in the morning, 1 mile at night. Deer hunting in the afternoon since October 4th. That's what it is. I think that's part of it, is just staying busy. And not like, like doing things you enjoy. But I don't just sit and watch television. I never want to retire that way. You know, I put a thing on my Facebook that mentally I still feel 29. Humor wise, I'm probably about 12 or 13 years old. Physically, I really believe I fought in the Civil War, but it's getting better. Last night I got home, we did that floor and all that OSB, and moving all them blocks, man. My lower back was hurting so bad, and finally Gail convinced me to put on one of those salon pause things, the heat thing that goes on the lower back. Oh my God, what a huge difference! I was able to work today. I don't have to put one on. It's not hurting nearly like it was. I mean, I pulled some kind of muscle. Ridge Runner. I drove Texas to Alaska and back 23 summers as a solo musician playing in bars. Bought land in Alaska long ago. Alaska's changed, so I sold the land at 5 times. That's awesome, Ridge Runner. I used to play music in Houston. I was in a band in Houston. And, hey! Morgan's North Carolina Adventures in the house. Jeremy Graham. Welcome, Jeremy. Yeah, I was a musician. I played guitar for years down in Houston. I mean, I was never a great guitarist, but we had a great band, and we played 5 nights a week. And I'm working, or not, I'm working. I was working a full-time job at the same time, and I figured out, okay, all the money I'm making playing music at night, I'm spending on speed so I can get up and go to work the next day. So I had to get one of them up, and music at the time wasn't going to afford me the lifestyle I needed, so I quit playing music and started my career. Yeah, country music, that's what I played. I had a 1972 Gibson Hummingbird Custom and a 74 Fender Telecaster. That Telecaster was the greatest guitar almost I ever played in my life. And there was a guy in Chillicothe, Ohio that taught me how to play music, taught me how to play a guitar. And his mom now in her 60s, played guitar in the church band. And man, that woman could do licks. I would just sit there just in total amazement how a woman could do this. And she had a red 63 Fender Mustang. And I love that guitar so much. And I used to hang out with her all the time and play with her, you know, and learn from her. And when she died, she made sure I got that Mustang. And wouldn't you know, my brother stole it from me and sold it in a pawn shop. I was like so mad. Oh no, caveman. Messed up a rotator cuff. That sucks. I'm in a tourist town now. It's very chaotic. I'll bet. I was starring in Alaska. It was a blast. Yeah. I was a guitarist and bass player in a band in the late 70s. See, we all want to get together. We should have a meetup somewhere. All of us old guys that sit around and pick guitars and stuff. Uh, I used to love doing that in Chillicothe at Vertus's house, man. We would all, every Saturday night, we'd be in the garage, you know, uh, just playing all the different people in Chillicothe that we knew. A 64 red Gibson. Oh my gosh. Wow. That would be awesome. But that wasn't really a country guitar. I had to stick with the twanginess of the Telecaster. I had a Strat, but I always played the Telecaster because that was more for country music, and especially as a lead guitarist. Doubt I'll see a Trump check. So do I. I don't think I will. Never got my Doge check, so I don't know about the $2,000 one either. My wife's 59-year anniversary today. Wow. Wow, that's awesome. See, I'll tell you something. Here's a funny story. One of Joe's stories that I may have probably haven't mentioned. But speaking of playing guitar, I remember waking up. Some of you may know who this guy is that I'm going to mention. Uh, I remember getting up one Sunday morning and Vertus was there. He said, Joe, let's go play some music at this guy's house, right? In Greenfield, Ohio. We were living in Chillicothe, Ohio. Vertus said, let's go to Greenfield, Ohio and play with the Lytles. That's all he said, play with the Lytles. I'm like, okay. So we go out there and there's Mr. and Mrs. Lytle. I didn't know who they were, but he introduced me. We're sitting around playing and it's a Sunday. We're just all chilling and talking. And about 12:30, this guy comes walking down the steps downstairs in his underwear, goes to the refrigerator, gets a beer, and goes back upstairs. And I looked at him and I said, was that Johnny Paycheck? And Mrs. Lytle was like, yep, that's him. You know, they were so upset. He wasted everything and he was so talented. But yeah, we were at Johnny Paycheck's house playing music. I couldn't believe that. That was a funny story. My brother did time in Chillicothe Correctional Institute the same time Johnny Paycheck was at CCI. All right, let me catch up on the chat going on here, make sure I'm not missing anybody. Let us know when you have primitive skills camp out. Absolutely, I will. I'm looking forward to doing that. That's going to be next year because I'll be living here full time and I've got a spot picked out and everything. We're going to do an old-fashioned camp out. I heard it's just going to be off taxes. You know what? I have no idea. Let me tell you something Joe has done, and it's been the last 6 months or so. I've made this transition, right? I turn off the news. I don't watch the news. You know, I get headlines and stories if I want to read them from Fox, from Newsmax. I used to watch Fox all the time, but I've given up on them now. I've turned off the news. I don't watch it. I feel a whole lot better. My stress level has gone down. I heard about this $2,000 check. Fine. If I get a $2,000 check, thank you very much. I'll take it. If I don't get one, that's okay. I'm not planning on it. It'll be a nice surprise if it comes through. We got lied to about no more taxes on overtime and no more taxes on tips and no more taxes on Social Security. That was a lie. That's a 2-year plan, and you get a tax credit up to a certain amount of overtime. They still take all the taxes out. They still take the taxes out on tips. They take the taxes out on Social Security. But for 2 years, you get to claim a certain amount of deduction for that, if you will. That's all that was. It's not tax-free money. So I don't listen to him anymore. I don't listen to Donald Trump any more than I listen to anybody else. You know, I see what I got to pay for gas. I go grocery shopping. I see what I got to pay for groceries. Yes, the inflation part has slowed down a bit, but the prices are still going up. Don't be on television telling us how great the economy is and what a great job you're doing by lowering prices, because I don't see it. It ain't there. So I don't want to listen to you anymore. Unfortunately, that's how I've got to look at it. I spent 8 years watching Stevie Ray and Jimmy Vaughn when they played bars, became friends, loved the blues. Oh, good God, dude, I love you, man. Oh, I have been a blues fan my entire life. That's pretty much where everything in American music came from blues. Such an influence on everybody. Did the tree guy ever show up? No, but I've talked to him. He was going to show up last Friday in the rain to take it out, and I told him, no, 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 don't come out here in the rain and do this. And he said, well, I don't want to cancel on you. I said, look, the way I look at it, you didn't cancel on me. The rain canceled on us both. And I said, look, I thought I would have to have the tree moved or taken out before I could move the building. We were able to move the building without the tree being a problem. So I said, look, when it's dry and you got nothing to do, come over and cut it down. That'll be fine. I'm in no hurry for it now. I saw Stevie 3 times a week for 8 years. Oh my God. Now, I went to a concert in Cincinnati with my dad, my brother, me, and my nephew, my brother's son. And we went to this little venue in Cincinnati, and we saw George Thorogood, right? And totally enjoyed the show. I mean, I got a Budweiser from George Thorogood. I was standing right there on the stage. At my age, I'm standing there by the stage, and he reached down and handed me one of his Budweisers. But we all four that night decided, okay, Stevie Ray Vaughan was coming to Cincinnati in April, so we were all buying tickets to see Stevie Ray Vaughan. And before he got there, that's when he died in a helicopter wreck. So I never got to see him. I wanted to really bad. Now, I have smoked weed with Waylon Jennings in Las Vegas, Nevada, and with Willie Nelson in Las Vegas, Nevada. When I lived in Las Vegas, I had a friend who was a member of the Stagehands Union, and he would give me his card, and I could get backstage at some of these shows. Waylon Jennings had a 1957 Fender Telecaster, and I got to go back, and I met him and the band. We were sitting in this in the green room, if you want to call it, just where they all hung out till they went on stage. I had better weed than he did, but I told him, I said, dude, I love that guitar, man. That thing is awesome. He's like, you want to play it? I thought, hell yeah. He handed me his Telecaster, and I picked out a little bit of stuff, and then gave it back to him. Okay. Well, I've paid out 10K in federal taxes this year. I don't know what I've paid. I don't even care anymore. Our electric rates are going up 18% soon. Yeah, ours went up in Cincinnati or in Wheeling. I tried to explain to Gail because I'm like, Gail, we have to have propane out here. We can't get natural gas. So I buy a propane. I said, I want a propane dryer. I want propane stove. And she's like, no, I like my electric dryer. I want the electric costs out here are 35% higher than they are in Wheeling. And I started showing her the bills from here for me just being here on the weekends. And she started coming around to, okay, maybe we should go with the propane stuff. You got a 2000 job check, 2000, you will be paying inflation. It'll cost you 3000 or more that same money. Absolutely, that's the way that works. That's what all of that COVID money did. It just allowed all the prices to skyrocket because everybody had extra money to spend. I mentioned this in the video I'm gonna show you tomorrow. We went to framing these walls. I had to buy a box of nails for my nail gun. Right? I looked back at Lowe's. I bought a box of framing nail, 3.5-inch galvanized nails in 2022 for $23. I went to buy another box of 3.5-inch galvanized framing nails. They don't have any of those. They got 3-inch now. That box of 3-inch was $56.94. Over 5.5 cents per nail, and 175% increase in price. Right? That was, and somebody tried to say, well, that's the tariffs you're paying for. No, that is not all tariffs. That's greed on businesses' part. There's no way you could tell me nails went from $23 a box to $56 a box in 3 years. I ain't buying it. I've only been to 2 concerts in my life. I've been to all. I have seen everybody. I love concerts. Some of them I saw Elvis Presley live in Norfolk, Virginia in 1974. Monsters of Rock and that would be a cool one. Barry Manilow. I used to call it Barely Man Enough. I shook Johnny Cash's hand. Wow. Oh, nice, man. I would be a bartender for that. I'm running for president, y'all. My platform will be based on keeping Social Security solvent by taxing churches, along with any federal grants given to nonprofits shall be forced to pay U.S. taxes and Social Security. You got my vote. You absolutely have my vote. Johnny Cash, a Diet Coke. Frank, hey Joe, was watching that. As soon as I get off here, that is one of the greatest shows I've seen on television yet. Billy Bob Thornton deserves every award that there ever was given just for that show alone. That is one of the best shows on TV I have seen for years and years. But yeah, the whole 501c3 corporation shit, all these nonprofits, they have gone from being nonprofits that would help people to being money laundering schemes, is basically what it turns out to be. You know, you're taking hundreds of millions of our tax dollars and giving it to Catholic charities so they can take care of illegal immigrants. It's laundering our tax money is what they're doing with these big nonprofit organizations anymore. And I spent 40 years in the direct mail business and a member of the National Society of Fundraising Executives. I know how those nonprofits work. Some of them used to do good work, but they all got swallowed up. So yes, I agree. Churches should be taxed because now the church has brought themselves into the political arena, right? Once the church gets in the political arena, they are no longer, in my opinion, tax exempt. They should be taxed. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? I think they all should be taxed so I can get more money to finish building out here. Oh my God, I was sitting down with a friend of mine, and in the last 3 months, I've probably spent $7,000 out here, not counting the 7,000 that went for the septic. I mean, fortunately, I got my electric company money back, so that has helped me a lot. But man, it's crazy. It is not cheap buying property and trying to build a homestead on it. There ain't nothing cheap about it. And when you got to pay $58 for a box of nails, they don't want you to build your own stuff. How's the cabin holding up, Joe? Hey, Nicholas. It's great. I'm sitting in it now. I love it. If Gail didn't want to move out here, I would not have run electric. I wouldn't have this house I'm building. If it was just me, I'd be in this cabin for the rest of my life, enjoying life. This was so cheap to build when we built it. A lot of, material that, I scavenged from places and got huge discounts on because they're flawed sheets and things like that. It's holding up great. And everybody talked about here's I think maybe a misnomer uh, that people talk about with the frost line and all the moving of all this kind of stuff. I've got this cabin on those blocks that you use for foundation, with the 4x4 post in it. Uh, that's what I've got as my base on this cabin. It has not moved a bit in 6 winters, 7 winters. It hasn't done anything. There's no heaving or any of that kind of shit that's going to matter. Uh, you're on a gas generator. No, I am not. I had solar for years. Now I ran electric to the property for the house. So I'm not on solar power anymore. I have 3 generators for when I have, my backups. Hey, Joe, keep up the good work. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. Uh, does it have a well? Nope, no well yet. I have 2,000 gallons worth of IBC totes that I'm going to set up, and I will do rain catchment and filter that. But also, there's a company out here that will deliver 2,000 gallons of potable water for $85. So, and I plan on rain catchment for flushing the commode and doing laundry and things like that, to where I'm not even using that potable water for that. So, that's going to be my water solution right now. When I sell the house in Wheeling, oh, sorry about that. That's when I will decide whether or not I'm going to do a well. In this area, wells don't do real well. Wells don't do well. Everybody has cisterns, and they use their well primarily just to try to keep their cistern full, because they're just not really good wells. So I'll, you know, go down that road when I have to. Uh, let's see what I'm missing here. Red Rooster. In my opinion, you can't look at right now and judge where we're going. Our new nation is going to be fantastic beyond imagination. You know what? I hope you're right, but I don't believe it. I can look at where our country is right now and where it has been going for the last 30 years and see where it's headed. It's going to take more than one man sitting in an office that has been puppetized. It's going to take more than that to change this nation. That's just a fact. I hate to say that. You use the co-op. I remember. Yeah, we have got the co-op out here. If I get 2,000 from Trump, saving for a camper. Yeah, absolutely. I will take it. There is no doubt in my mind. I took the COVID money gladly. The $600 a week that I got for 20 some weeks, that helped me do this stuff. I don't have a problem with that. But I know the last 3 or 4 times we've been promised stuff like money, it's turned out to be false. We never got it. So I'm not counting on it. But if we get it, hell yeah, I'll spend it. Do you have a water pump to generate pressure to circulate? Absolutely. Got to have the pump and tank. It will work exactly like a well, but it'll just be 2,000 gallons of water in a tank. I mean, I don't have it set up yet because I don't have my plumbing roughed in. I'm just now getting the house sealed up. But that's the next project, is getting all the plumbing set up. And then the tanks filled up, and it'll be similar to the running water here in the cabin. It's got a little pump with a little pressure tank on it, that when I turn the faucet on, it brings water in. When I turn the faucet off, the pump stops. So it'll be very similar to that, but that's how the house is going to work. A lot of things are happening in this house over the next, couple months. So make sure you keep watching all my videos. Hell yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm totally off grid, fully off grid now for about it. That's awesome. That is absolutely a great way to be. Like I said, if Gail was not moving out here, if she didn't want to live out here, and it was just me, I'd still be off grid. There's no doubt in my mind. Joe, did you get the Creighton I sent you in Wheeling? It helps me a lot from chronic pain. Yes, I did, Ridge Runner, and I've tried some of it. I don't know yet. I'm still experimenting with it. But yes, I definitely have been trying it out. Because I like my gummies, my THC enhanced gummies. But there's good thing. I've not had any adverse side effects, and yes, it does help with pain. I just don't want to get almost like hooked on it to alleviate pain. That's one of the scary things about something that really works good. Because then I'll come out here and kill myself working, thinking, oh, I can just take some of this and I don't have to worry about it. Malachi's Corner, I'm wanting to do similar to you, Joe, but my finances are too tight. Absolutely. I understand that, Kimberly. It's been a struggle here. I'm not going to lie. You've seen the part-time jobs I've had to have. I mean, I got the refund check from the electric company out here. That's helped me a little bit. I'm taking a break from jobs so I can work on this. But again, I've said it in many videos. This is not cheap to do by no stretch of the imagination. Dan says, Joe, we use the Red Lion jet pump. When I get to that point here in a few weeks, what I'm going to do is on my live stream, I'm going to say, okay, everybody, let me know about pumps. Tell me your thoughts on different pumps. I'm not ready to do it yet, But I am going to do a video. Okay, I need advice on the best route to go here. Uh, because that's going to have to keep me in my water supply until I decide whether or not to even get a pump put in. 2 to 3 grams, no more. That's good to know. I've been doing 1 to 2 grams when I do it. It's like the gummies. I do the gummies, the 20 milligram THC gummies. I cut those in half. I don't do the whole 20 milligrams because I don't need to. I don't want to get a buzz, you know. I just want to relax. But it's hard to get gummies anymore, and evidently in this bill they passed open to government, they put all kinds of restrictions on THC and hemp farms and stuff. I don't know what's going to happen because all these states that legalized everything, now it's all federal, things saying no, you can't do this. But yeah, I got addicted to ibuprofen. Um, I had for years terrible back problem, and I would take between 16 and 20 ibuprofen a day just to function. For 2 years, I lived like that. I went to the doctor, I got MRIs, got all this stuff done. They gave me all these drugs, these high, powerful drugs that did absolutely nothing. I had to have ibuprofen. All these Percocets and Darvocets and all these sets that, everybody's doing these drugs. It did nothing for me. One day I got to thinking about it, and I said to myself, basically, look, it must be a mental thing that I have to have this ibuprofen. So I quit taking it. I haven't had that back problem since. So I got addicted to ibuprofen, but it was a mental thing. Uh, it's getting a bad rap because they made 7, which is 100 times more powerful, and people are abusing. Yeah, that's the thing I got to watch out for because I'm susceptible to doing things like that. I'm leaning. I'm learning as I build it as. That's great. That's the whole thing. Join me on the Prepper channel on Wednesday nights on those lives because I've preached it on here plenty of times. The most important thing you can have as a prepper, in my opinion, is knowledge. Knowledge is everything, and that's why I've got all those books up there. And I learn all of this stuff I'm doing. I'm learning and I'm making it. That way, if something breaks, I don't have to call somebody. I can fix it because I built it and I know how it works. So, and that's what I try to preach to everybody. Knowledge is everything. Learn everything. But that's just me. I use BC powder. I never tried a BC powder. I know people that swear by them. I never tried it. Naproxen sodium works for me. Wow, I didn't know that. Smart move, Joe. Oh yeah, I know it was really bad. It was bad to take ibuprofen like that. But I just had to, once I took all of those drugs, everybody at work was begging me to sell them those drugs. I wouldn't. But after taking those and there was no noticeable change in the pain or anything, I had to keep eating my ibuprofen while I was trying those drugs. And that's what made me sit down and think, okay, maybe it's a mental thing. I just think I have to have these. And for 2 or 3 days, I mean, it hurt. I suffered at work, but I refused to take an ibuprofen. And after probably a week, it got to where I now will take some. I was so sore yesterday, I took 4 ibuprofen. And I was fine. If I take any ibuprofen, it's one time a day. And I only do it when I've been doing work like out here and I'm really sore. Other than that, I don't even do it. Hot Epsom's, I've never done that. Nicholas, it's fun that way to do everything ourselves. I'm the Absolutely. Hey Rick, thanks buddy for stopping by. I got to get off of here too. I just realized it's 12 minutes after 9. I might have to get off of here too. Um, yeah, this was a great live stream. I'm loving these things. On Wednesday nights, I'm doing a live stream from home on SBA prepping and survival. And my first live stream was last week on Wednesday night on that channel. And it was great. That started out great. So I'm really looking forward to Wednesday. Join me on that channel. That's not even monetized or anything. Don't even worry about that one. But it was a great conversation we got going. We're going to share all this prepping information with each other. I drive a tractor trailer, neck and back problems a lot. I understand that entirely, Joe. I'm not kidding. Yeah. I've never been to a chiropractor, so I don't know exactly how that works. But thank you everybody for stopping by. Joe, do you have a wood burner or are you in a warmer car? I'm going to have a wood burner in the house. I'm going to have a wood burner in the living room, a wood stove, and then in the bedroom I will have propane heat as a supplement. Uh, that's it. That's all I'm going to need. Um, but hey, Bill, thanks for stopping by. And that was a funny story. I wish we could have expanded on that some more. But you know, I've never ceased to be amazed by that channel anymore. He just blows me away. And I'm not allowed to comment on it anyway. He's blocked me from all of it. So I don't have a problem with it. But everybody have a wonderful night. Like I said, tomorrow I got the video coming out where we framed up the walls. And it's easier for me to explain exactly how I'm connecting these two buildings and these two roofs so I don't have any leakage. Uh, but everybody stay safe. Join me Wednesday night if you can. Next Saturday night on here. Peace out, everybody. I'm out.